And if they achieve their goal, the team gets an award, but the whole company gets the award of increased profits. Ownership thinking is really the pillar of our culture and really allows us to do the things we do with excellence. And ownership thinking comes from the book Ownership Thinking by Brad Hams. I was fortunate to have Brad as a guest speaker in one of my peer mentoring groups. And I was so impressed with his message and really felt like it spoke to my philosophies that I hired Brad to be a consultant for Seal Shield. And he came in and designed an ownership thinking program for Seal Shield that we continue to operate today. And the background is kind of an interesting story. So I'll share it with your viewers. Brad Hams was hired to be the CEO of Mrs. Fields cookies in Mexico.
Ooh.
So I think if you've been fortunate enough to try a Mrs. Fields cookie, you know that they're onto something pretty special too. And Mrs. Fields started making those cookies in her kitchen. And when they went public and became a multinational organization, they put their production in Mexico. And that's when things started to go wrong. And so they hired Brad to go to Mexico and figure out what the problem was and get the company back on track. And the thing that Brad noticed when he went to Mexico to the production facilities was that there was a huge disconnect between the line workers and the financial goals of the organization. And Brad theorized that he could teach the line workers in Mexico basic financial statements, give them a profit sharing incentive, show them how they can effectuate savings that increase bottom line profits and that they can get a reward from that. And that was the basis for ownership thinking. And Brad was successful in Mexico turning around Mrs. Fields cookies. And afterwards he said, well, if I could do this with Mexican factory workers, I can do this with anybody. And that led to him writing the book, which has become such an important part of our culture. And at the basis of ownership thinking, and certainly at Seal Shield, this is true, ownership is a component. So all the employees at Seal Shield have an equity stake in the company. All employees have equity options, so they're owners in the company. And we have a very lucrative profit sharing plan where we contribute up to 20% of the company's profits at goal to the company profit sharing pool, and all the employees share in that money. And then they have RIP challenges, which are rapid improvement programs, where any employee can put together a team of people because they've identified an opportunity for savings that leads to bottom line profits. And if they achieve their goal, the team gets an award, but the whole company gets the award of increased profits, which again feeds the profit sharing pool. One of the things Brad found out is you can't have a successful profit sharing plan unless you have full transparency so that no one knows that there's a shell game going on. And we've incorporated that at Seal Shield. And every week we have what we call our all call, where we get all employees, whether they're in the office or whether they're remote, everybody participates and we open up the books. So we do a full financial review every week and then a more detailed financial review every month. This is our actual operating numbers, because if you have great people who understand it, who are aligned with the financial goals of the organization, you share the progress on attaining those goals and give them a financial incentive, that's where the magic happens.